Hello, welcome to Snails and Fairy Dust. Today I'm going to show you how to make these beaded rings using a stitch called Even Count Peyote stitch. It's a really great stitch for a beginning beader. You'll master it in no time, and then you won't want to stop making these fun rings. So let's get started. As far as supplies, I have a size 12 beading needle. I am using size 11 Miyuki Delica seed beads, but you could use whatever kind of beads you have on hand. I'm using Fireline, which is a really strong beading line, and a 6 pound weight. And I have clippers, and I have an opposite color bead, so I could use it as my stop bead, which I'll show you in a moment. So to get started, I've cut 4 to 5 feet of my Fireline, and I'm going to pick up my stopper bead, bring it down towards the end of my thread, and then I'm gonna leave a 4-inch tail, and I bring my needle around and I come back up through this bead. This bead is gonna come off pretty soon, but we're just putting it there for the first row so it stops the beads from falling off. For the first row, we're gonna pick up 8 beads in our primary color. So there I have 8 beads. Gonna slide them down to that stopper bead. Then I take my thread and wrap it around my finger like this, and I pick up my next bead. Now I'm going to skip that first bead here and I'm going to go through the next one. So basically bead 2 if we're going 1 through 8 down to the stopper bead. So we pull that through and then you'll have the first 2 beads sitting together like this. They're going to make a little triangle. And then you pick up the next bead and you skip the next bead in your original row and then bring your needle through the following bead. So skip that one, and we're going through this one. We're going to continue to add beads every other bead for this row. And you'll start to build these little triangles like this. Pick up another bead, skip the following bead, and bring my needle through the next bead. Like that. And then this one's not sitting where it's supposed to, so I'm just going to wiggle it into place with my nail. And there you go. Now he's sitting just like the other ones. And then I pick up another bead, skip one, and go through that final bead. There we go. And we have our first 2 rows complete. And now from here on out, we're just adding 4 beads for each row. So I'm going to work back in the opposite direction. I've gotten rid of that stopper bead. And I want to put the new 4 beads in between these sort of beads that are sticking up. So I pick up one bead, I'm bringing it through that up bead, like so. I pick up another bead, bring it through that up bead, pick up another one, bring it through the next bead that's higher than the others. I call them the up beads. And one more time. And now we've added another row. And then I'm going to work back in the opposite direction and keep doing the same thing. So I'm going to add 4 beads in between the up beads on this row. And that's how we keep building our peyote stitch. Now, I want you to do about 16 rows of this, and then you're going to meet me back here, and I will show you how to add a little design onto your ring. But first, I want you to master this, so keep building these, and I'll see you back here when you have 16 rows. Okay, so if you are back here, I hope you have completed your 16 rows. And now we're going to start just adding a design. So to begin the design, I've added 1 colored bead to start my row. And the design is basically just a little triangle. So we're just going to build this up. Coming back in the opposite direction. When I get to that blue bead, I'm going to add a next blue bead, another blue bead. There we go. And basically, you're just building a little triangle. Now, the next row of my triangle is going to be orange. and then I continue the blue row, and you basically just follow where the bead's gonna land. I mean, you could do whatever design you want, and I'm just trying to show you, like, a really simple design. Once you get good at this, you are going to be able to make any sort of design. So much fun just to experiment with these rings because they don't take too long, and you could really, push your beading craft and see what you can come up with. So you see how this design is just building up in a diagonal line, and I will continue doing that until the blue line reaches the top. It's sort of making a triangle rainbow is what I'm doing here. And I'm going to keep building that. You build yours. If you need to follow along with this to keep your pattern going, please do. Otherwise, meet me at the next section and then we'll talk about sizing our ring. Okay, so here we are. I have built my design. I have woven out my ring to its a length where it almost looks like it's long enough for my fingers. So I'm going to take a look. When you do attach your ring together, you want to make sure the pieces fit together like a zipper like this. So basically up beads on one end and then the opposite down beads on the other side. So I'm just going to wrap it around, see if it's the right size yet. I think I'd like to make it a little bit bigger. So in order to do that, I'm going to need to add 2 rows of beads in order to make sure the up beads on one end fit into the down beads on the other side. So I'm going to add those 2 new rows and I'll meet you back here and we'll close this up. Okay, so here we are. My ring is the right length now. My up beads fit into the down beads on the other side like a little zipper, like teeth, shark teeth, like so. And I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go through the up bead on the other side like that. And now I go across the row to the up bead on the other side and then through the up bead on the opposite side. And basically back and forth like this, going through the up beads in a zigzag pattern. So the up bead on that side, up bead on this side, almost there. This one, and finally our last one. Now this is my favorite part, 'cause when we pull it together, it just sort of disappears, that line. So I pull it, give it a good tug, pull that tight, and now you could hardly see that. Now we're gonna go back through, see where there's that gap, so we're gonna weave back through that so that we are sure that this seam is very secure. So we come back down through the seam and keep going. And basically, I want to just secure the seam, and then I'm going to weave my needle back into the work to just make sure it's really secure. And then eventually I will find 2 neighboring beads where I'm going to stop and just sort of weave around those 2 beads 2 or 3 times to anchor my thread. And I'm actually going to do that a couple of times because with a ring, there's a lot of wear and tear and pulling. I mean, as opposed to like an earring, which you're not really counting on the beadwork to have so much strength. But with a ring, you really need the strength. So here I am anchoring, looping around the 2 beads. I'm going to do that 2 times. And then, sorry for the bad camera angle here. And then I'm going to weave down a bit more and then do that same thing again because you really want a ring to be very strong. And then once I'm finished with that, I could clip this. And then what I'll do is go back and find that original tail from where we started the ring. And then I'm going to thread that and I will weave that one back into the work as well in the same way I've done it with this and anchor that one. So when you get that string done too, come back here and we will take a look at everything. Okay, so I have finished that second string, weaving that tail back in. I've clipped it. And here we go. See how easy was that? Are you super proud of yourself? So much more fun than an earring because earrings you have to make 2. Ring, you're done. Look at that. Now you can wear it out with your outfit tonight. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and I hope you will subscribe. In a few weeks, I'm going to post a video about how to do um, odd count peyote stitch, which is really cool. Okay, see you soon.